everyone, it's Doug from Vermont Hoyas, and welcome to a visit with myself and Hoya Lei. I'm really excited about this Hoya. I've only had it since June when a fellow collector here in Vermont, Naomi, traded me a cutting of this plant, and it is flowered in very little time. So got it in June, 6 months, about 8 months from cutting. Just very excited. Absolutely stunning flowers. Stick around to the end because I took a lot of time to take some really great close-ups of this plant. They should photograph very well because it's a pubescent flower, so we don't have that high gloss that reflects the light. So it should look pretty nice. I wrote a few notes down on this plant to tell you a little bit about it. It's a small lithophytic species, which means it's found in limestone areas. It generally grows tightly on rock surfaces. Broad distribution range from southern China through Laos and Vietnam. And it can differ quite a lot from with flower color and leaf size depending on where it is found. There's a great paper online on this plant. I want to thank Mary Carroll for doing a little research on this plant for me. It's been very helpful and telling me how to pronounce the name correctly, because it's hard, even though there's only 3 letters, L-Y-I. It was hard to know whether that was called Hoya Lei or Hoya Lee, but in fact it's Hoya Lei. And let's see, it's closely related to Hoya Thomsonii, but unlike Thomsonii, this plant flowered in a constant light cycle in a grow tent. The temperature in there got down to about 58 at night and got up to about 74, 75 degrees during the day Fahrenheit. And from research, I found out this is one of the most cold tolerant Hoya species, and it can even survive light frosts. So that's pretty cool. Probably why it did as well as it did for me, because in these cooler temperatures, it felt most at home. And I don't know that I have anything else to say about this, except I'm thrilled that I was able to flower this in such a short amount of time, when there are some Hoyas that I just spend years on. So this is a big plus. Oh, and I also have to say that it has quite a powerful, sweet scent that's a little different than anything I've smelled before. It's hard to describe, but it's quite beautiful. I highly recommend it for the scent. Just a great little Hoya. Oh, and I'm growing this in coconut husk with a little bit of Osmocote thrown in there, and it gets watered approximately twice a week. I just watered it. Oh, and another interesting thing about this flower, 90%, 95% of Hoyas, the flowers open as soon as it gets dark, opens at night. But this is one of those rare exceptions. The flowers open during the day. I could almost watch them open right in the middle of the day during the brightest light cycle. So that's also a little bit unusual in the Hoya world. And that's about all I've got to say. Even though it lives in a lithophytic environment, this grew in pure coconut husk, so I don't know that it was missing that limestone too much. It's done pretty well. It also has another peduncle up here. Don't know, it's starting to bud up, but I don't know if that will actually make it to term or not. So just thrilled that I did get to flower it, and hopefully I can keep this around for a long time because I really love it. Thank you all for visiting myself and Hoya Lei, and I'll be back really soon with more great Hoyas and Hoya growing tips. Thanks again.